Welcome to Black Love and Cinema with Manny and Jess, where we break down love and relationships through the lens of our favorite films. We got to watch a new release today called Love Brooklyn. This movie is about a writer played by Andre Holland who is juggling a relationship with his ex-girlfriend, played by Nicole Beharie from The Mourning Show, and his current lover, a newly single mother, more accurately, a widow, who uh, is navigating the heartbreak of the death of her husband and her child's heartbreak.
Right, grief.
Grief. Thank you. That's the easiest way to say it.
Yes.
Dealing with grief.
Yeah, dealing with grief.
And so we were watching this movie, and throughout, just like it is our normal evenings, we paused several times to talk about what it's about. And it occurred to us that this movie is about letting go of the past.
Yes, in multiple ways. Like I said, we've got the
Ex dynamic.
The ex dynamic. So he's got one that he was with before. He is navigating his feelings for the ex, and also dealing with the current. And
who is navigating the loss of her husband.
Yep. And then also, kind of in the same way, he's also dealing with the city.
The loss of Brooklyn.
Yes, and how it has changed. So it's kind of.
But his ex is also dealing with the loss of her art gallery.
Yes.
So everyone's dealing with loss in this film, and it's not immediately obvious.
No.
As you watch it, because at first it kind of looks like a man who's just juggling
two ladies at the same time.
Yeah, and it seems like he really has an option.
Right.
And it's going to get to a point where he gets to choose what's happening.
And that's kind of where we were looking at it at first to begin with. It was like, oh man, this dude's gonna have to figure out something.
Yeah.
And then of course he's got his best friend Roy Wood Jr. from the Daily Show. He's kind of like the comic relief. Yeah. He's kind of
that hairline look familiar.
He's kind of like
back there.
He's kind of like the comic relief, but he's also the him and his wife is kind of the
eyes and ears, maybe?
Yes, they're kind of the eyes and ears of everything. And his wife Beth basically knows everything's going on as it's happening.
Yeah.
Between him, between the new lady, between his ex. It's like she's kind of in the know of everything.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like us. She's the spectator looking at everything as it's happening.
Yes.
So
why did you think we should talk about the past?
Well, at first we thought this was going to be a question about trying to decide between
two equally viable options.
Right. And then
especially that are sort of high quality, for lack of better words.
Right. So in one case, he had a really good vibe with his ex. It seemed like they were almost like best friends. They were able to just kind of kick it and kind of do things, kind of hang out. They knew each other really well. But for whatever reason, there was something there that wasn't there. It wasn't working. And then on the other hand, he had this really good chemistry with the single mom. And it was getting to the point where even the daughter was questioning.
Well, she was connecting with him.
She was connecting or wanted to at least connect to him somehow. And so it was kind of seemed like it was blossoming into something more, even though it started out as kind of a
booty call situation.
Yeah, I was like platonic, but with benefits. Friends with benefits. Yeah, there we go.
So the thing is, both of these women are giving you cool, but I don't want anything more than that.
Yep.
And so it looks like he's got this tension between, for one, he seems to have viable options, but at the same time, his options are both saying they're not ready or willing to step into a romantic relationship with him. They just want him to accept it for what it is.
Right. Emotional and sexual.
Yes. And so then I think true to form with real life, they learn about each other.
Yeah.
And therefore it seems their interest in him intensifies.
He becomes the forbidden fruit. And
well, that's your theory.
Or he becomes the taken man that's desired.
Anyone suddenly is attached to someone else, they instantly become more attractive.
Right.
Like someone that you wouldn't have given the time of day, or you act like you wouldn't. All of a sudden they're seriously dating someone, or even sexually involved with someone, or goodness gracious, they get married. Now all of a sudden they're the most appealing person ever.
Right. Especially if at some point you put them in the friend zone, and now they moved with someone else beyond the friend zone, and now they're like, oh, that was an option, and yeah, it's that second look back.
Yeah. And so then we have this dynamic where the women are learning more about each other because they're both having transparent conversations with him, because what's to lose? They don't have anything to risk.
And
with friends.
And with Beth.
Yeah, and they're talking to Beth, his friend's wife, who knows all things.
Right.
And I think what seems to be happening is the more they learn about each other, the more appealing he becomes, because they get to see him in a different light, from a different perspective of someone who desires him in a way that they don't, or experiences him, maybe is a better word, in a way that they don't. And so all of a sudden you see these two women suddenly shifting, like not directly, overtly expressing interest, but it's evident they're becoming more interested in him than what they had, the category they had boxed him into.
Right.
So I guess we don't want to give the movie away, because this literally just came out on Amazon a few days ago.
Yeah, it's pretty new.
And it was an independent film.
Yes.
So more than likely you haven't seen it unless you live in a certain state. And I don't know if we just gave a lot of stuff away just now. I don't think we did.
No.
But it really does make you think about how do you let go? The first thing we thought about was, should you be friends with your ex?
Yeah.
But it was like, well, we should probably keep watching because I don't know
If it's going to be
if that's what
remain
this
a
is really
friendship.
about. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
And
but let's just go there. Should you be friends with your ex, babe?
I would
What are
say,
your thoughts on being friends with your ex?
I would say in my context, I could be civil with an ex, but friends no.
What do you recommend for people, generally speaking?
There should be boundaries.
What does that mean?
So for me, I have kids with one of my exes. So they're apparently they're going to be at some point in my life, at some point at certain steps. And when the kids go get married, or if there's some big event, or if there's something going on with one of the children, I'm going to have to reach out to this person and be in contact with them, or they're going to be in contact with me. That's just how it is. And so there's not a friendship, but there's an understanding of, hey, we have a responsibility together as parents that we're going to have to navigate in that context. Other exes, I don't have any kind of connections in that way. And so not necessarily a reason to be friends. And so there's not really anything there. I guess it's, should you be friends with your ex? For me, that's a no. How about you?
Unlike him, I'm going to give general advice.
Okay.
I think back in the day, I always said it's okay, what difference does it make?
Right.
Today, I'm like, what is the purpose? Because if they're your ex, so here's the. This is where it's gonna sound like I'm just double standard.
Yeah, come on, let's hear this.
I am friends with my ex, and this is an ex, the person I was with for a decade, literally before we met.
Yeah.
So I was in this long-term relationship, and we broke up at this point, what, 3 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And but we lived together. It's a whole hot mess. I do not recommend it.
It sounds a whole lot different when you have to say it.
Yes. So I was with this person for 10 years. We broke up, but in the meantime, we lived together, and even though we had lived in different rooms at that point when we broke up, we still lived together. So when Mansell and I started dating, he's coming to the house where my ex lives.
Yeah.
Now, because we worked together, he already knew that information because,
Conversation.
through work and conversation. So he knew that, but there was nothing going on between us. It was just information that
Right.
I shared. And then, but when we started dating, it was a whole different dynamic. Like, this is weird. It wasn't weird for me.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
Okay.
I knew what was up.
Yeah, but it would be weird if it wasn't weird, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't weird for me. It was weird for him, and it was weird for her.
Yeah.
So the thing was, but I was forthright with everybody.
Yes.
So anyway, it wasn't just that we broke up. We broke up. We had been broken up for 2 years. And I mean, like, when I say broken up, I'm not talking about playing around. None of that. There was no sexual nothing going on. There was no romance going on. We was like straight up
really
friends.
just good friends.
And the decision to break up was based on our faith. So that also contributed to us behaving a certain way and creating boundaries within the relationship in that house. But because of my life history, her life history, we have resolved that more than likely we was both gonna be single for life, and we was gonna be the odd couple. So some of y'all probably young and don't even know who that is. But basically, it was 2 old white dudes.
I don't know. They might have. It was somewhere
in New York.
I think the reason why they became the odd couple was because it was prime real estate, and they both didn't want to lose it, so they ended up actually having to be together.
But that's what I'm saying. But we were still old.
Oh
women.
yeah. Oh yeah.
We thought we was gonna be old women, was gonna grow old together,
Correct.
and not be in a romantic relationship, and just resolve that God didn't want us to marry, and so that's what it was. Not marry each other, but I mean married. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that 2-year period passed, and then eventually Mansell and I started dating, and he knows the living situation, but now it's a different
dynamic.
It's a different dynamic. So,
but it was. I would say we had to get to know each other, and there had to be an understanding and a trust built between us and between me and your friend, because
it didn't work out at first like that with you and her.
Yes.
Because when he showed up,
yeah,
she was literally treating him like she was my dad.
Which I have to say, I'm thankful for that, because she was protective of you. She wanted to make sure that somebody was actually treating you right, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, she came out like
I'm good with that. She gave me the whole "What are your intentions?" speech, and I was,
the only thing she didn't have was a pistol.
That's okay. Maybe she might go get one now.
Yeah.
But in any case, I'm glad it came across that way, because we got to have that conversation.
They did have that conversation.
And she imparted some advice on me that I still hold to this day, to make sure that I'm always going to do right by you. So it's all good.
So, but here's the thing. We're still friends.
Yes.
And we actually go to the same church. Now, to be fair,
right,
she and I went to that church first. I'm actually the one who found the church.
Okay.
And then I told her about it, and then she ended up going with me.
Yes.
And then we've been there at least 1.5 years or so.
Yeah.
And then after he and I got involved, I told him about the church or whatever. He knew, at that point, he knew we was going to church. He knew we lived together.
Right.
He was like, this is a whole unit.
Right.
And I think he had just resolved it. It is what it is. I trust her. I ain't tripping.
Right.
She had not gotten to that point yet. So she just saw him as a problem.
Yes.
That would eventually go away.
Yeah.
And so, and then just also adjusting to a new reality. So anyway, now we're going to church together, and we still live in the same house, and we're dating, and the relationship's getting more serious.
Yes.
It's a whole bunch going on, but we're friends. Why are we still friends? Because first of all, we should have always been friends.
Okay.
But secondly, I think the decision to break up was based on our faith. Our faith is what informs our convictions, our beliefs, our values. So it's not like I'm friends with some person trying to hold on to whatever it was or what could have been. It's literally our friendship is rooted in agape, the love of God, I think.
Yes.
And so that love is pure and it's innocent, and essentially there is nothing now, just like it was 3 years ago at this point,
Right.
that would make us backslide on our convictions concerning scripture and our relationship.
Right.
So there is no threat in that regard. And I think that's what allows us to be friends, because ultimately, I guess if I put it some way, we love God more than we love whatever our relationship was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I
that's
just happened to gain a sister in Christ.
yeah, so he gained a sister. But that is an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
And I certainly do not recommend it. Like, and I'm not talking about if you dated any same sex, and I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about
Trying to navigate
any of that complication.
exes and friends, and
Absolutely not.
yeah, that's a hard terrain to navigate.
And the reason is because I think relationships with exes are too complex. First of all, why do you want somebody to be your friend with whom you couldn't have a healthy relationship? Like, I can't make that make sense.
Mm.
Like, if you couldn't, first of all, friends are typically more intentional about preserving their friendship. So you mean to tell me you was married to this person or you dated this person? Y'all allegedly have the ability to be friends now, but you couldn't have navigated difficult situations in your relationship like friends would to make it work? That doesn't make sense to me.
I see.
And maybe I'm overthinking it. I never understood that.
Yeah.
And then, unless it was a case where you should have always been friends, but then it's like the boundary's been crossed.
Right.
So aside from, like I said, the exception where maybe you love God more than whatever,
Right.
what is going to stop you from crossing that boundary again? And I think ultimately that's what my issue is with it. So yeah, I'll speak. He'll say he's speaking for himself. I'm speaking generically. Like, why do I need to be? He don't know my dating history extensively. You know enough.
Yes.
Imagine me being friends with any of the niggas.
No, that ain't.
Like, literally, what? Like, for real.
Right.
I mean,
Well, it's the same
I'm
for
into
me.
that.
It's the same for me.
How does that make you feel?
No, that would be a no for me.
But why though?
Because like I said, there's boundaries that have to be set.
Why? Like, that doesn't mean anything. What is the boundary? Why does it matter? What is the threat of me being friends with my ex?
Because there can always be some type of temptation that might draw you back some kind of way, or it just may be something where it's, for one, if those people did something to hurt you, why would you stick around? Why would you go back?
No, that's not what you worry about. As my husband,
No, as your husband, yeah, I don't want nobody basically anybody that had a chance to be with you before and drop that ball, that's on them. And I don't want to give them the opportunity to try to re-up on that.
So a friendship creates that opportunity. It's an open door.
Yeah, because what happens when we're in a situation where we might not necessarily be agreeing, and we're in that moment as husband and wife where we're having a conversation, and there's an issue that comes up, and then we're in that low moment where we're having to kind of work through some issues, but now you have this other person that you can go to that you've had an experience with, a history with, and they can feed you whatever it is that they know will make it work.
Yeah.
Now you tempted by, oh well, maybe I should have just stuck with this versus that ain't it. I don't like
So
it.
that's hence your discussion about boundaries earlier.
Correct.
And I think honestly that's how I see it. Because what is there for you?
Yeah.
Like the Bible talks about dogs returning to their vomit.
Yikes.
Like if you look, a fool returns to his vomit.
Mm-hmm.
Like a dog, and it's like essentially, like, no shade, but if you going back to your ex, you're returning to your vomit. Again, there's exceptions. Like there could be someone that bad time,
Right.
like wrong time, wrong wrong timing, and the circumstances weren't quite right. Maybe you were a little immature or something like that, and then maybe
Y'all both single and out
Yes.
there, and it just happens to be where y'all come across each other again, and now y'all can reunite.
yes, at a different point in time, maybe it could work. But that's with the understanding that we're not looking back, we're looking at what it is now,
Yeah.
who we are now, what we've learned now, and what we can do now. But like most of the time, that is not the case.
Right.
Like if you were really looking at your exes in that relationship,
Because at that moment they chose to make that decision then without thinking
where you did.
without thinking of the potential of what the future was going to be, because they felt convicted in the thought that future did not exist for you.
Yeah. You mean they didn't think they didn't want to be with you? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, their conviction was this is not a future for
I'm
us.
not committed to being with you like that.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what they did or didn't do.
Right.
They resolved that you were not the one.
Right.
And or you decided that, and
Yes.
so whatever, they moved on.
Right.
But there's exceptions. But my thing is, never ever look for the exception.
Yes.
You should not let the exception to the rule dictate your love life,
I agree.
because that's how you get caught up, and then you be looking like Vivica Fox.
Oh. Oh dang. Okay, we going there.
You be looking like Vivica Fox 22 years later,
Looking for your 50.
trying to get back at 50, and he ain't thinking about you.
Right. 50 to moved on.
Then moved on,
He just
and he always running his mouth, so you know he gonna clown you every time he find out about it.
right. So
He always on Twitter.
yeah,
That's how we know he old, because he on Twitter of all platforms.
that's just his medium for expression.
I'm still calling it Twitter.
Yeah. X. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, exactly. The X is on X saying, "What X is for 22 years? Move on."
I guess maybe that's why they changed it to X.
Right, for 50.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But again, and then I also think we really want to get to our point about letting go of the past. But I guess this is
Yes.
letting go of the past. So I think the other piece is with exes, it always, for me, it feels like it comes down to the fantasy about what the relationship was like. You're removed from it and you're thinking back on it from a place of pain. And so you imagine the relationship was better than it actually was. You're creating scenarios that didn't exist in that relationship. You're making them say things they never said. You're twisting their words to affirm or approve or accept or convey some type of love for you that they never had. You're making the sex better than it ever was. You're making it, it's all a fantasy.
Holding on to the highlight reel.
You're holding on to a highlight reel. And unfortunately, I believe in most cases, because I was Vivica, it's a highlight reel that you actually didn't even experience. Your own highlight reel is fake. It's just you imagine what it could be. You imagine what it was. You fantasize about what it was, and you imagine what it could be in your mourning, what you thought it could have, should have been. And it's hard for you to move on from that. But if you were to look at the reality, how they really treated you, you would understand this relationship is not worth my time, my energy, my heart looking back. And it doesn't matter how tender it was, it ended. And if you were really to examine why it ended, then that would probably change your perspective on being friends first and foremost. But most importantly, it would change your perspective about trying to go back.
When you go to revisit this highlight reel, it really isn't the highlight reel you thought it was. And it just basically is something that you're telling yourself. You're basically lying to yourself about something that was when it really wasn't what it was. Because the truth is that person didn't want to be with you and they chose not to be with you for a reason.
Or you chose not to be with them.
Or you chose not to be with them.
And if you did, it was for a reason.
And it was for a reason. So you have to
own that.
You have to own the fact that you weren't chosen, or you decided to leave, and stick with your convictions because you know you left for a reason, or you know they left you for a reason.
Right. So some people might be wondering, well, obviously all former relationships weren't that bad.
Right.
And it's not like I'm fantasizing like he really was good to me. She really did treat me a certain way. The sex really was that good.
Right.
Okay, but here's the thought. You say it all the time, you fumbled it.
Yep.
Either you fumbled it or they fumbled it.
Right.
And again, it's still a highlight reel.
Yes.
Because for whatever reason, immaturity, age, circumstances, whatever reason, y'all decided or agreed that you weren't sold out to be together.
Correct.
And so that's just, you just got to cut your losses.
Right.
Because you holding on to something that, what you gonna do? You can never get back what you lost.
Right.
That person could come back and show up in your life, but they are definitely not who they were when you knew them.
Right.
Nor are you the same.
And to that respect, to take full responsibility for things that we've done, that there are people that we are responsible for, that, like you said, we made the decision to leave.
Yeah.
And so based on that, we take responsibility for that part of whatever that you thought maybe is no longer, because we made the decision to make that severed.
Yeah. If you chose to leave that relationship, particularly one that you now regret leaving, you just got to own that. And then you have to ask yourself, why do I regret it? Is it because you literally miss them, or do you miss the idea of them? And then also, is it because you haven't found somebody else?
Good point.
Or is it really like, dang, I really fumbled that. I would do anything to make up for it.
Yep.
But again, what are you making up for? The fantasy?
Right.
Or do you legitimately say, I'm an older man or woman now. I know more.
I'm wiser.
And if I had opportunity and they were available,
Yep.
I would shoot my shot.
Yep.
But if you just like, man, they were so and it's all based on fantasy, you have to mourn your loss, actually.
Yep.
Mourn it. Just be like, I messed that up. They messed that up. They really broke my heart. And then just be like,
it's time to move forward.
It's time to move forward.
Yeah. And that's definitely what this film brought to life, was basically him coming to grips with what he was really dealing with and moving forward in every aspect of every relationship he was in.
That's true. And the thing was, he was like, was it denial with him and his ex? I don't think it was denial. They didn't communicate. They were not transparent.
Yeah, I don't think it was denial more so than they both were kind of tiptoeing around it, like you said.
Okay.
There wasn't a clear communication of what they were, and so they were kind of tiptoeing around whether they were.
Will we or won't we?
Yes, and is there a connection still or not? And I think they got comfortable with the comfort.
Man.
Just they got comfortable with, okay, we can hang out, we can go and have drinks, we can go, go be in the art industry and look at things and talk, and we can vibe together. But when it comes to the actual relationship portion of it, they couldn't. There wasn't that part. Wasn't
they
there?
Couldn't have those conversations,
and they couldn't get serious about it one way or another.
Yeah, and that's true, because he did say, like, you just broke up with me.
Right.
You didn't say nothing. You just broke up with me, and so you're navigating that.
Yep.
And the tough part about navigating someone that just broke up with you is you're trying to tell yourself a million stories about why that may have happened, but you don't know. And so basically that leaves the door open. You think there must be a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, well, they didn't tell me, so it must mean they really cared about me because they didn't tell me. Like, no, that's just good old-fashioned ghosting.
You're right.
I mean, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I've been through that, and I know, like, somebody like can just break up with you, You have no idea, and you're trying to figure it out, and you become obsessed with it. And so anytime they call, if they call, anytime they back in the day it was call.
Yes.
And so anytime they call, you jumping. Anytime they say come, you come.
Yep.
Because it leaves the door open, which is what people are doing when they don't explain
Yes.
why something's open. Over.
Yeah. There's no closure.
Yeah, they don't give you closure in it, and that's intentional because ultimately they want to keep you around for whatever it is they need, and it may just be companionship.
Yeah, you're the best right now.
Yeah. So just in case, companionship,
Yep.
booty,
Oh yeah.
you know, whatever, they got you in their Rolodex.
So I guess
That's rough.
do you want to roll into the ratings?
Did we say all the ways to let go? Well, the other part was about grief.
Oh yes, there we go.
So-
Grief. Let's touch on grief.
Because I mean, that's not an ex. That's her husband who passed away.
Right. So she was married to someone before they passed, and now she's looking to move forward.
But she's struggling with it.
But she's struggling because, I guess for one, they're young enough to where you had a whole lot of life left to live, and now you have to figure out how to navigate the rest of that without that
Yeah.
person. When the expectation was that was going to be until they're old.
Yeah, she was mourning what could have been,
Yes.
or at least she should have been mourning what could have been.
Right.
But it's like she was numbing the pain, if you will,
Yes.
through school,
Yeah. It looks like she was trying to,
medical school, maybe.
or maybe the holistic massage.
Holistic wellness.
Yeah. And so she was doing.
That makes sense. Art.
So she was studying to do that, possibly because now she's taking care of a family and she's got to figure out how to do that.
But then
balance.
also I feel like she didn't mourn.
Right. She didn't give herself time.
She didn't give herself time to mourn because now she's involved with this dude, and she's basically saying like it's not gonna be more than it is. We can have
Yes.
sex, we can have fun, but it's never gonna be more than
Right.
that.
And she was the one to put that out there. It wasn't like he was just like,
Yeah.
I'm in between some things. She made it known when he was trying to figure out what it was.
Because he was definitely interested.
Yes.
And so we have a bunch of stuff go down, and then ultimately she realizes, dang, I miss my husband.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's ever gonna change.
Right.
And so then a series of things happen, and we're like, well, I think we know what's gonna happen next.
Yep.
And so then it's like, how do you navigate that grief? I haven't had that experience. I did have an ex die.
Mm.
Remember I told you about that?
Oh yeah.
He died I think 3 years ago.
Mm.
When my relationship with the ex ended.
Okay.
But with all due respect to the dead, when he died, I was like, we saw that coming. I don't know. That was a horrible relationship too. But it was sad because of his kids, and he was young. He was only like, I'm 40, and he died when he was 42 years old.
Mm.
It's way too young to die.
That's true.
And so I didn't go through that grief of that myself. So I don't know. I have personally never grieved anyone dying. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Never.
Mhm.
Like I've known people to die. I've been sad, but I've never like.
But,
Yes, I did. 'Cause I told you about my aunt.
yeah, but not a love interest.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we're pretty young for that now.
wouldn't be so
I
sure.
mean, yeah, things can
He
happen.
was 42.
Yeah, that's true. Things can happen.
He wasn't my love interest when he died.
Right. Things can happen.
But I don't know. What advice would you give someone who's grieving? I know you haven't lost his spouse to death. But
Right. As far as grief goes, there has to be time for healing. There has to be some time to navigate that, especially if you have kids involved, and
which she did.
you have to navigate that whole situation. But I know for you, you've always said that that once someone is gone, they're gone, and you can move on.
I mean, move on. Like you have the right to be
Yes.
someone else.
Right.
That's what I mean.
For me, I think yes, you should move on, but there should be a grieving period. There should be time for you to be able to let go of the idea of whatever future you thought was going to be there, and work through that before you move on to the next. Because otherwise, it'll interfere with everything you're trying to do at that point.
So more the loss of what could have been,
Yes.
and more than just ruminating over it. You
Right.
think you literally need to go through
Yes.
the different seasons, the holidays, the birthdays, the anniversaries,
Yes.
so that those days that will naturally be triggers
Right. You
can
can
be a day where you can process it.
you can process it, say goodbye to it, move on, and then move on with your life.
Yeah.
To an extent where you feel comfortable with the knowledge of knowing that they're gone. Not saying that you've forgotten them, but that you are comfortable in yourself to move forward in a way that is going to allow you to let love back in.
Yeah.
I want you to turn down at least 4 or 5 people before you start. You know,
There's no one for me, baby.
saying, I'm gonna hold you to that. No. No, but yeah, I'm saying, I'm gonna be single for forever after that. I'm gonna just chill.
That's because you believe I'm gonna die when I'm old.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna
so you're gonna be like, well, I
My-
can't get another wife now.
be, my bet is I'm going first. So
Don't be so sure.
okay, well,
Life happens.
you're right.
Death happens. People's dying, they ain't never died before.
That's true. You're absolutely right about that, 100%. So, But in any case, I think that there should have been some time to mourn,
Yeah.
some time to grieve, truthfully grieve within your own self. Not saying that losing a loved one you can't grieve in a short amount of time, but
I want to say it so bad. You can't Erica Kirk this.
yes, yeah, you can't Erica Kirk it and be on that, the news station out there doing interviews a
Some
week
people might be
after.
like, well, she's grieving. Everybody grieves the only way. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I would
That's
be
true.
a
We don't know.
complete.
I'd be a wreck.
It'd be a wreck. Yeah, I'd be like, shut this whole thing down.
Like, don't put nothing. No camera in my face. I like that. I really like how you explain that.
Yeah. So
But then also giving that daughter also needs the time to grieve along
Correct.
with her. So
correct.
really, it comes down to through a series of analogies with the gentrification of Brooklyn
Mhm.
that he's trying to move on from, and the art gallery that she's wrestling with moving on from, and the ex dynamic and the husband, and it really does make you look at the cost of letting go, but also more importantly, I think moving on. What does moving on look like, especially when you're mourning what could have been? And I think the hard part is people don't own the fact that it's ended. They don't own that reality. In other situations, you don't own why it ended and why it may be good that it ended, even if the relationship appeared to be good at one point in some fashion. And I also think people don't truthfully allow themselves, like you said, to really sit with the full extent of mourning,
Right.
literally letting go of everything that could have been. And I think you have to do that.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Hmm.
You have to let it go and like really, really process and let yourself sit with yourself and feel the pain.
And that speaks a reflection of the whole film itself is mourning.
Yeah, it is.
He's mourning his last relationship.
And he's mourning Brooklyn.
Yep. And
Hence the name. Now we know why it's called Love Brooklyn. I was thinking that was somebody's name.
you're right.
That'd be a white girl's name, though, wouldn't it? Brooklyn.
Yeah, more than likely.
Or no, biracial.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. Yeah.
Brooklyn.
So, from a standpoint of the 5 parts, the first area being
Romantic realism.
romantic realism, what would you give it?
Oh, this movie I think was very real.
I agree.
It was very
5
realistic. 5 parts.
Yeah, for sure. Every relationship, even the small nuances of the tension there,
Yeah.
definitely played out. Every person played their role. Even the little girl in that, I don't know.
She was a very intelligent young girl.
Yes.
Seemed to be emotionally aware.
But she put she put them in them. She asked them questions and did the things that kids do that
She had some great discovery questions.
that put them on the spot, and it was perfect. And it was everyone played their roles very well. So you could tell the tension between the exes. You could tell the tension between the new relationship. It was all very well put out. And
But more than acting, it played out the way it was written. It played out like real life.
yes, relationships, healthy relationships.
Yes, true.
Not healthy in a way that like there couldn't be any kind of toxicness there, but healthy in a way that they had discussions. They went through the emotions. They talked.
More or less.
Yes, they brought up exes to each other. There was some communication. There was some lack of communication, which makes it real.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely 5 stars.
So the other one is, if I'm just going off the dome because we don't have our notes in front of us. The next one is, how does it represent us?
So I'm gonna take this angle because we talked about this. The represented us. As far as how they acted as black folks, yeah, they were black people being black.
You always say that.
Yes.
Black people being black.
Because
How do we be black?
because it wasn't. I think the best way to say it is not a monolith, and they did not do anything that was like stereotypical that make you cringe.
This is true.
And so they were just being themselves as actors,
It was
acting
just
out.
organic.
Yes. So that is what I mean by black people being black. The only thing that we brought up that was kind of a thing was why is it that in these kind of romantic drama type films,
Independent in particular.
yes, everybody is some type of artist, whether it's music, art, or what's the other one? Music, art,
We talked about
or literature.
Literature.
Yeah, or literature.
Some form of writing.
Some type of writing, some type of artwork, some type of film, something or other. They always, it's like when people act like they're in some type of normal everyday situation, they always have the most eclectic jobs.
Always. It's like I was saying, like it's like they think that if you're normal, you don't fall in love.
Right,
Like somehow you don't see or experience romance if you're not some
right,
hyper intellectual, pedantic author.
right. You can't just be at, the office downtown.
Chilling and having lunch, eating a
Right.
what's some sandwiches people be eating on lunch? What are they called? I can't think of the sandwich.
What?
A club.
Oh, a club sandwich. Yeah, you
I guess that's not romantic.
can't be having a club sandwich at lunch and then meet somebody, or
Right.
you can't be working, I don't know, at the post office, or
Right.
can't be at Walmart
Right.
and meet the person that you're supposed to meet at Walmart.
And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with the fact that they are depicted this way, but we see it everywhere. We see it in Love Jones, even Boomerang. We saw it in this one. We saw it in
what is this? What is it? Love, the one we did the other review on with the artist.
Oh, The Photograph.
The Photograph, but there was another one. Not Love Actually, but
Love Actually. That's British.
Yeah, that's British. But
I don't know, but it's several films, and they always do it like this.
It's the one with the lawyer and the artist.
Oh, really?
The young couple. We just did it.
Oh, we didn't do a Queen and Slim.
No, the other one.
She was a lawyer.
No, with the arts. But he had an art. He was doing the art.
Really Love.
Really Love.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
Really Love.
Yes.
That was art as well.
Art.
Addicted. Art.
Yes, art.
What?
They need some range.
Right. Like, can we do something else? Even I can do Bad by Myself. Music.
True.
She was a singer.
Yeah.
So it's like music, even soul food.
No, they had regular jobs.
Some of them did, but what's his name?
No,
he was trying to be a musician. He was a lawyer.
He was a lawyer.
Right.
So soul food didn't do that.
Right. Or lawyers. That's what they do as well.
Well, everybody wants to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah, it's like lawyers or artists.
So
or doctors.
I don't know what I think about that. I just think it feels just reductionist, the way to put it.
Right. So I'm not saying that they weren't being black, but it was like, can we find some other regular jobs where people just work?
Yeah. And then the other rating is about, will we want this relationship? No, not for me. But
no.
I think that because ultimately it seemed like nobody knew what they wanted.
Yeah.
Or they weren't ready for what they thought they wanted.
Right.
But I don't want to get too much into it because we don't want to give the movie away.
Right. So I think ultimately, I think it played out well the way it should have, as far as everyone addressing what they need to address. So I guess in a way, I would say I would give it 4 hearts for, I would like, if it was going to happen to me that way, I would hope it would happen in a way that was healthy versus toxic. It wasn't full drama.
There was nothing toxic in this movie.
No,
actually,
it wasn't full
which
drama.
is refreshing.
Yes.
Particularly for a black movie.
Yeah, so I'll give it that.
Black movie. I say that loosely.
Right. So I'll give it that it wasn't over dramatic or traumatizing.
And then when we watch it again, I would own this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
We just rented it.
Yeah.
But I would own it. I liked it.
Yeah, it's going in the collection.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's something that could be revisited and we could probably break it apart in other different ways.
Yeah. But
I thought it was a great movie overall. I would recommend people to watch it just to get that insight, and it's just a really good film.
It was done well.
Definitely a good date night film.
The only thing that I have a complaint about is you have a whole hour with no music, and then all of a sudden decide to add music. Like, that was weird.
Yeah. So I guess to go back to the black film and does it fit with us? The soundtrack was.
It's like all the other eclectic soundtracks.
Yeah, it wasn't there was not a whole lot of relevance as far as soundtracks go, but yeah, it was silent. It was very silent.
Which I think was okay.
Yeah, it was good. I guess what was the other one that we talked about with the artist and the lawyer?
I don't know.
Really Love.
Yeah.
They kind of used the silence in that film as well.
True.
So they might have gone with the same kind of.
I think that's the thing for independent films.
Yeah, they don't use a lot of. Well, it may be hard to get some of those rights too.
Well, I think that's also the style of independent film.
That's true.
Because like foreign films don't use a lot of
that's true.
music, which I think is better because Americans are distracted.
Get to the point. Get to the dialogue instead of.
Don't Woody Allen it where we talking your ears off. Your ears are bleeding from talking so much.
Right, but get to the dialogue. So.
But that's it. I mean,
that's our review.
We did it off the cuff.
Another one.
Home date night.
Right.
Date night at home.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good date night.
So that's it. We'll see you for the next one.
This is Black Love and Cinema.
All right.
And should be in about 3 minutes.
You gonna turn it off?
Yeah, I turn it off.
Well, red button up on